Hello and welcome to this very special energy show. I am Sylvia Hartmann. I'm the creator of modern energy and lots of different things. And my favorite topic in all the world, all the time spent, has got to be infinite creativity. But before we get into that, please remember to like and subscribe and share so that more people can find out about the wonder worlds of modern energy and become happier. That's the mission. That's the thing. That's what I want to do, what I'm all about, because our happiness matters. So, where do we start on this wonderful journey into infinite creativity? Well, there are many places we could start with, but one of the things that makes me laugh when I say, you are in possession of infinite creativity as a human being. So the greatest gift from the great creative order is that you have access to infinite creativity. And then people always say, nah, not me. I'm not creative. I can't do this. I'm not at all creative. And for many, many years, decades, possibly centuries, I have believed this too, that some people are blessed with the gift of infinite creativity and other people aren't. And it's just one of those things, either you have perfect pitch or you don't, either you can dance or you can't. And, we all believe that some people are specially blessed with special talents, and you're not one of them, basically, whatever it may be. And that's just so amazing. So I've always made it my business to try and find out what works for human beings, normal human beings, human beings who can walk across the street and read a newspaper in this day and age without dying in the process. So it's a quite a low thing, my normal human being. Basic model. What can the basic model of a human being do? That's really what I want to know. So when I come up with an idea or a technique or a pattern or something, I make it my business to try it out on all sorts of different kinds of human beings, old ones, young ones, different educational status, different upbringings, different places of birth, different languages. And when I find something that just works for human beings across the board, I go, woohoo, I'm one step closer to answering the question, what's a human being? Then, because I think we kind of need to know that, and then we can go from there. But here we come to creativity. And it's true that I thought for the longest time that I was specially gifted with creativity and other people just weren't. Until it came to be 1998 and I got involved with emotional freedom techniques, EFT tapping, which was based on psychotherapy. So people were tapping on the things that were wrong with them. Even though I'm a complete loser, I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself. In order to remove the badness of being a loser, to stop being a loser, and, thereby becoming a better person. And so I did a lot of that. I was very excited by it. On many levels, I still am. The tapping itself is miraculous. It's just applying it in a psychotherapy way that isn't really the way forward. But at the time, of course, everybody was doing negative tapping. Everybody was doing negative tapping. Not just EFT tapping, there are also the attractor field therapy tapping, AFT, and of course thought field therapy, TFT, and a myriad other sort of versions of tapping were springing up at the time, but they were always tapping on the negatives. And there I discovered something amazing. The people who were tapping were not running out of negatives to tap on when it came to self-concept. And one day I had an enlightenment experience when I was working with somebody who gave me a list of things that they had already tapped on, but their life hadn't become any better. It was like a computer printout. It was just amazing. They must have done, I don't know, 800, 1,000 rounds of negative tapping. And the question they had asked was always the same question. What is wrong with me? And every time they asked that question, they got another answer. And it was amazing. As I was reading through this, I was having an enlightenment moment. We weren't dealing with a bucket of things, a limited, no matter how big, a limited storehouse of things that were wrong with this person. We were dealing with a generator. It was generating ever more new and creative answers to that question, what is wrong with me? And I sat there with that list and I just went, wow. A generator. Something that would never, ever stop. Something that would keep going and going and going for infinity. This is a generator of infinitive creativity. And the moment I realized this, and absolutely thank you to that person who tapped so valiantly on all the things that were wrong with them, in the hope that when all the wrongness had been tapped away, a rightness somehow would emerge from that, which is so sweet and sad and so utterly wrong. But all the hugs across space and time to that person, because they allowed me to start entertaining the idea that creativity isn't something that you are born with or not born with, that it is a generator that resides within every human being on planet Earth, and that when you stimulate this generator by asking questions, such as what is wrong with me, it will faithfully continue to generate answers. And if you keep asking, what else is wrong with me? It will continue to come up with ever more creative answers to that original question. And in that moment, I mean, there's so many things started to make sense. Like there was this thing with the false memory syndrome of satanic child abuse in the late 70s and early 80s. And here, therapists were, in all good faith, asking children and adults to give more and more details of their child abuse and what else had happened. And when you do that, what they didn't realize is they weren't dealing with memories at all. They were dealing with my infinite creativity generator. And so what other abuse happened? This generator would start to spin up. And once sort of the basics, normal things were answered, it was becoming more and more creative. And the things that it was creating were more and more outrageous and more weird. This has nothing to do with any level of truth or any memory or anything like that. That's the infinity generator that is answering those questions. The same with people who did obsessively past life regression and kept asking for what horrible event in a horrible past life has caused me to have a horrible life today. And our infinity generator springs up and it begins to answer this question. And every time you ask, you will get a fresh answer, a new answer. And it'll become more and more horrendous and more weird and more bizarre. But it will keep going. It'll keep going and going and going. So that's the infinity generator that resides in all of us. And we all have asked these questions, these negative questions about ourselves, about the world. What's wrong with people? Oh my, you keep asking that question over and over and over again. What's wrong with people? What's wrong with people? And your infinity generator starts spinning up. It's because they have been attacked by souls from the seventh dimension. And that gives you Scientology. Or they've got entities stuck on them. And all this stuff. You keep asking that question and you get more and more bizarre answers. And so this star moment I had with the tapping client who'd been tapping on all the things that were wrong with them, and I realized that they had engaged their infinite creativity generator. At the same time as I saw that, I obviously saw what would happen if we started it up the other way, when we started asking, what if you ask for 1,000 tapping session? What's good about me? Well, it'll once again create our infinity generator. It will answer every time you ask. It will give you a new answer every time. If you do it for long enough, the answers will become more abstract. As they do, they become more creative, they become more unusual. And now we may think this is also a bad idea, you shouldn't be doing that. I don't know. It certainly does stimulate the energy mind. It's a wonderful thing. And everybody, every human being, every functional human being has this creativity generator inside of them. And that can be used for all sorts of things. All sorts of things. But just for now, I'd like you to be advised that you too have an infinity creativity generator that is a part of your structure. Even if you have never used it in your entire life, and in brackets you have, of course you have, everybody has, can't not. That is there, and you can draw upon this. You can start asking questions and receiving answers. Now, I would personally hugely prefer if you asked questions that presuppose a positive outcome, such as, what is good about me? What is good about me? Let me see. Let me count the ways. And the thing with the creativity generator is that the more you ask, the more answers you will get, and you will get, streams of answers. And I believe that we were never meant to use that in the negative, to accumulate evidence, for example, what's wrong with humanity, so that we can have this fabulous trial against humanity, like so many science fiction programs have conducted, all the horrors that humanity is responsible for. We can spend our lifetime and the next 15 incarnations doing that. Or we can go the other way and start asking, actually, what's good about humanity? What's good about them? Start making a list of that, paying attention to that, focusing on that, allowing ourselves to be inspired by that. And by inspired, I mean raised. Our energy raises up and we expand and we see more, we understand more. It's a wonderful thing. I'm going to take a moment to say good morning to all my wonderful live viewers. Good morning, Ray and Paul, Helen, Jamazier, Dieter. Oh, it's wonderful to have you here with me this morning. And yeah, have I mentioned Helen? I mentioned Helen afresh. And Marina, hello. Hello, guys. So, we have this infinity generator inside of us. And the point, really, what I'd like you to know about this is you can query this generator, this infinite creativity generator. You can ask questions for it to generate things for you. And the more you use it, the better you become at understanding how it works for you, and the better it works. Very simple. Really simple example of that is when you write a poem every day. The great poet Sylvia Plath did this, and I noted this, and I thought, oh, I'll have a go at that. I'll write a poem every day. Nice poem about something, an uplifting poem about something. So that's then the query where we're asking, what's good about me? In this case, we're going to say, um, give me a nice poem, an uplifting poem. And so first time you do this, it might take a little while. You can make that quicker by assuming the heart position and think about something you love. And you might go, I really love sunshine. Oh, I'm going to write a poem about sunshine. Sunshine streaming through the trees. Cathedral stillness beneath the emerald leaves. Oh, and go from there. Just write a little poem that uplifts you first thing in the morning. And what you find is that the next time you ask for another uplifting poem, the next morning it's a little bit quicker and a little bit easier. Sometimes you sit there, nothing comes to you, then you can go, oh, wait a minute, am I particularly energy low this morning? Oh yeah, went to a party last night and drank too much. How interesting. I've learned something about myself. So the poetry generator, that's one. Now there'd be a lot of people who'll be like, oh, nobody wants poetry. Poetry is the worst thing ever. That's so useless. What a useless thing this infinite creativity generator is. Who needs it? A normal person doesn't need an infinite creativity generator. Well, I don't know. Perhaps you could, in the morning, ask a question. I've always wanted my wife to be happy. I wonder if I could come up with an idea today to make my wife smile. See if an idea comes to you. Imagine switching it around, being married to somebody who does that, who actually does that, who actually uses their infinite creativity generator to come up with new ways to, I don't know, make you laugh, make your relationship happier, you can use that in different contexts. If the sex life's a bit boring, you could use your infinity generator for that instead. What do you reckon here, guys, in the chat? What would you like to use your infinity generator for? You could use it for making social media posts. If you're a bit lonely on social media and you don't have many followers, nobody likes what you're saying, you could wake up in the morning and ask your infinite creativity generator, here, give me an idea for a happy social media post that will make my friends happy. That'll bring a bit of light into the world. What should I type? Or what photograph should I choose from my camera to share today? You could use it for that. If you were marketing a product or you're in business somehow, you could ask what every day. Imagine this. Imagine you had a business and you asked every day, what can I do to make my business better? And your infinity generator starts to spin up, and after about a week or so, when you ask, these ideas are becoming more powerful, richer, more creative, because that's a feature of it. It just becomes more creative. So with creativity, to use creativity and to use the amazing infinite creativity generator that our dear energy body has, that we were given by the great creative order, which makes us human beings. This creativity, these ideas. Yeah. We've had relationships, we've had sex, we've had business, we've had marketing, we've had social media popularity. I mean, what else could you possibly use this for? To stimulate it, to ask questions that could be helpful to you. where else could this come in handy now that we know we have one? So what do you reckon? Give me some feedback here. While I'm waiting for my chat to type some answers for me, I will tell the story of the 365 60-second wealth creators. From 2005, I decided to do, back in the day, these sort of chained email links were all the rage. So somebody would subscribe to something, and then you would send you would write a sequence of emails, and this email robot would send them out one after the other. And I always like to go a little bit mad. So I said, okay, I'm going to send you a prosperity tip by email that only takes an exercise that only takes 60 seconds, no more, out of your busy day, every day, to, do some energy work with becoming wealthier, becoming richer, that kind of thing. So they were called the 60-second wealth creators. And there's two major stipulations on this for my special version of the infinite creativity generator, which was to say to my dear energy mind, I don't know whether we had the heart position then. We might have, but I wouldn't have used it back then. Say to the dear energy mind, right, I need you to give me something that will help people become richer, be more prosperous, sort out their prosperity reversals. That's number one. Number two, it has got to be 60 seconds or less to do this in the real world. It mustn't be any longer than that. People haven't got time for that, especially if they're trying to create wealth and prosperity and working in their business. So those were the setups, the two stipulations. And my dear creativity generator, my energy mind, went to work and gave me the first 10. And we sent them out, and then we needed obviously some more. And that never, ever failed. I did 365 of those in a row, obviously in less than a year, but as the people were chasing me through this. And I still, to this day, sometimes when I'm going out shopping or something and I see something, get an idea for another one, for another 60. And that convinced me personally that it's infinite. It really is infinite. It doesn't stop. It never stops. Never ever stops. That was my convincer experience on the topic of, is this really an infinite creativity generator? Answer is yes, it is. It's infinite. It doesn't stop. As long as you keep asking the question, it will generate something for you. And I think that's really, really wonderful and super, super remarkable. Okay. So what else can we do with this? What else can we use this for? What else is that? The fact that the conscious mind asks the question, that's what it's for. Conscious mind asks the questions, and the energy mind sends the answer. The energy mind, previously known as the sub or unconscious mind. That is how it works. That is how it's supposed to work. And not the other way around. And that's really quite something. Now, I posted the link to this video to the GOE members group, and I added the comment that I would invite everyone to do a sequence of modern energy tapping from the heart position to the heart position, using that phrase, infinite creativity. Because what I'd like for people to do is to own it, to realize, to wake up to the fact that you too, even if you've never used it, you have got that generator inside of you. And it's running. Whether you like it or not, it's running. There are people waking up all over the world and asking themselves, what's wrong with me? Again, afresh, anew. And their dear energy mind delivers the answer faithfully, honestly, to the best of its ability, time and time and time again. And what else is wrong with me? And there's all over the world people in every country, in every land, in every skyscraper, in every hovel, in a hut in the jungle, starting to cry because they received the answer to that question they should have never asked in the first place. Because they didn't know they have an infinite creativity generator inside of them, which will give them answers. It will do the best to provide them with answers. This is a good one. Yeah, Paul. Good morning, Paul. My shining human being. Dear Energy Mind, how can I bring more fun and laughter into my day? How can I bring more fun and laughter into my day? That is an excellent question. And that is a question you should never stop asking. And thank you for giving me that example as well, Paul. Because when we first think this, the first answer you get, the first time you're trying out this extraordinary new machine that you've discovered that was built by an ancient civilization, and you're standing in front of it, the infinite creativity generator. How can I get more fun into my life? And the first answer you get is dressing up like a clown and dancing around with a red nose on and clown shoes. And that's fine, that's great. Don't let that put you off. Don't let it put you off. Just accept the answer and say, thank you, dear energy mind. I've asked a question and you've given me the answer. You have to remember this is not the answer. See, people are so starved for creativity and so unknowing of how creativity actually works. Sometimes they'll ask a question, they get one answer, and then they build their entire incarnation around that. They become a fucking clown because of the first answer. That's one of a stream of answers, of many answers, one thing the energy mind sent. And it doesn't mean to become a clown. It doesn't. Clown's a metaphor, It's a metaphor. Metaphor perhaps for a person that doesn't take themselves so terribly seriously, doesn't spend all day, grooming and plucking and, trying to look perfect or whatever. I don't know. It's individual, isn't it? Well, how people react to clowns. It's a message for you. It's a thing, a clown. Okay. Tomorrow when you ask, what else can I do to bring more fun and laughter into my games, into my life, into my world, into my work? You get a different answer. And the next day you get another answer. And the day after that, another answer. And at the very least, what that does is slowly but surely build up a new idea of what fun and laughter actually is. It's not just clowning, is it? There's more to fun and laughter than clowning around. Clowning around is great in the right moment, perfect. But there's more to fun and laughter and bringing more lightness, bringing more light and laughter into your incarnation. And every time you ask and a new piece gets added, there's something building this that's more. It's more interesting, information rich, moments where you go, I never knew that. Of course, when I thought of fun and laughter, I never thought about that. That's so cool. That's the thing with the infinite creativity generator. Use it, keep using it. Don't think that you find the answer and there you stop. And I think that's the biggest deal. That's the biggest flag I'm waving and trying to tell people about creativity. It's not about one good idea that will save your life. I'm not in any way down snouting the good idea, the one good idea that saves your life. It's brilliant. Let us love it. Let us celebrate it. Fireworks, joy. A good idea that saves your life is wonderful. But that's just one dot on a pathway. It's a pathway. It's about then the next idea and the idea after that and the idea after that as this generator spins up and becomes more and more useful, and you understand how it works better and better as well. So man, so few people have so few good ideas, and they are so trained to look to other people for the good ideas. It's like the entire school systems, wherever they are in the world and wherever they're based, they're all based on that you know nothing, and some people 6,000 years ago, they knew loads more than you. So shut up and study what the people 6,000 years ago said and did. I hate that. Inside each one of those little kids in the monastery school, rocking backwards and forwards, there is a human being, and inside that human being, there lives an infinite creativity generator. That if that was spooled up and they put their ideas together, something new and golden would emerge. Something wonderful would come into being. People clinging on to one good idea they may have even stolen from someone else. God damn, it wasn't even their idea. And making some kind of prison out of their own incarnation from this one good idea they had when they were 16, or they overheard a drunk guy in a bar speak it, and then they nicked it and ran away. Woohoo, I've got an idea. All the while inside them there was their own infinite creativity generator. All they had to do is de-stress just a little bit and start asking the question. I want a good idea for a sci-fi movie. Okay, note it down. Move on. Tomorrow, I want another good idea for a sci-fi movie. Let's collect 500, 600 of them, and then look through them and see which one is the one that you want to make right now, and demand more of your own creativity in that way. Don't sit around and wait for the muses to strike and say, right, okay, today I'm feeling poetic. Today I'm going to write a wonderful poem. Don't do that. Every day is a day for a wonderful poem when your infinite creativity generator is with you and you just ask the question, hey, let's write a poem. That's the way forward in creativity for me. Let's have a look. Helen says, doing this exercise immediately shows how rigid and narrow one's thinking is. It is very habitual. I really want to get into this. Yes, yeah, sending you love and light and encouragement. Sending you encouragement. Now, I don't know what color encouragement is, but whatever color that is what I'm sending you. It's use it or lose it, really. Use it or lose it. If you don't like writing poems first thing in the morning, write an affirmation. What do you want to happen in this day? And see if you can get your infinity generator to give you the idea of what you might want in this day. Helen says, how can I make my front garden look better? I want to wow the street and make everyone plant plants in their garden. Yeah, that's a good idea. Helen is a landscape architect, I believe, and that'd make a wonderful front for your business as well. Okay, what have we here? Dieter says, actually, I want to solve this cascade mystery with this generator. Finally, using it is the most important thing. Absolutely, using it is the most important thing. That is, this is nothing but the truth. Nothing but the truth. And I have so learned that so well during my poetry exercises, during the 365 wealth creators. God, aromatherapy for your soul. That was another example of that. By this time, this is 2 years later or 3 years later after the 60-second wealth creators. So I really knew that my generator works. I knew this. And so I came up with the idea because I was fed up with aromatherapy for I don't know, diseased feet or ugh, the physical. This aromatherapy isn't for physical stuff. It's for the soul. It's for the energy system. So what I came up with was to take each little bottle of aromatherapy oil and ask my dear energy mind to give me a story that explains the effects and the actions of the aromatherapy oil on your body. And yeah, that was 100 130 or something. I think 100 odd made it into the book eventually. And also, I also did the same with give me an image that represents the energy of the aromatherapy oil. And that was also really nice. And that was done with a click, by the way, Dita. So rather than having a vision of something, I started out with a picture of an orange and then applied various filters to it to try and match the energy of the orange and waited then for the click, which was great. Yeah, learning to use the creativity generator, perhaps creating a project of your own that has this aspect of it that there's lots of things, like lots of aromatherapy oils, lots of affirmations, some kind of a project that you can do for yourself so you learn how your creativity generator works, how you best speak to it, how it responds best, what energy states you need to be in, that sort of thing, you know. See what Marina says. Um, my conscious asked my energy mind what I really need as a generator, and it answered more love. Okay, so borrowing Paul's pattern, you can say, how can I bring more love into my life? And ask that every day, every single day, for at least a month, or you at least until you feel there's this real flow starting up and the ideas that you're getting are not the usual old stuff, not the stuff that you hear everywhere else. You know, to get more love in my life, paint my sitting room walls pink. Ah, man, yeah, okay. How do I get more love into my life? By, I don't know, something that isn't so obvious, something that is more profound, something that makes you go, oh, when you hear it, when you receive that idea, something that inspires you, something that inspires you, puts the spirit back into you, makes your energy body happier. You know, any which way you want to call that particular golden fruit a golden fruit. So, okay, guys, I'm guessing you would like to do a little creative infinity type meditation or exercise or something. Um, Most people listening to this will know what modern energy tapping is. They will know where the points are. Please give yourself the gift of just 5 minutes and sitting down, doing the energy tapping for infinite creativity. It'll be a beautiful experience. It'll reconnect you with your own creativity, with your own creativity generator, which is not an abstract thing. This is an actual system in your totality that exists. I don't know if it's in the brain, whether it's in the energy system, whether it is a connection of the two, which I suspect it may well be. However, It exists. You ask the question, it will answer. So please be advised, ask questions that will take you into a positive direction. Something springs to mind. I'm on various, in the writers community on Twitter. I'm Starfields, by the way. If you do Twitter, say hello, follow me, and I shall follow you back. Good old Twitter. Anyway, in the writers community, somebody said that it's a terribly negative thing, whatever that was. Oh, they wanted to start a discussion over some comment an editor made, which was world building does not sell fantasy books. And I knew where they were coming from. But the moment I saw it, I went, can we not please discuss what does sell fantasy books instead? If your goal is to sell fantasy books, right? If that's your goal, you're writing fantasy books, you want to sell them, you want some sort of guidance on how to make them so they sell better. Wouldn't it be useful to focus on what sells fantasy books? Something that comes to my mind right away is dragons. Dragons sell fantasy books. Jurassic Park was popular not because of some plot or the human actors in it. It was popular because it had dinosaurs. God damn it, honestly. Why don't you understand this, Hollywood? Dragons sell fantasy books. Dinosaurs sell Jurassic Park movies. Don't take them out and replace them with locusts, for heaven's sake. What is wrong with you? Yeah, so let us discuss what does sell fantasy books rather than what doesn't. Or what someone said what it doesn't. And that's really a way to engage the positive aspects of your infinite creativity generator instead of constantly engaging the negative. This is so bad. So bad. Yeah, right. See, I think the great creative order gave us our infinite creativity generator so that we could go and make wonderful things, beautiful things. Be amused. Have something for our wonderful brains to do while we're waiting before we get hungry again and have to find the next piece of fruit. We need to do something. We can't just sit there, stare into nothing all day. We are, creators. Human beings are creators. They've got to do something. They used to call it the devil makes work for idle hands. And that's why the hands had to then be constrained to thrashing wheat or stirring in flower pots or something. Because if you gave people the space, they would go ahead and make all sorts of things. And I'm sorry, but I just love this about humanity. The fact that they are children playing with their gifts that they've been given. And yeah, they get stuff wrong and they freak out and they bully each other and attack each other sometimes, sadly. But they're children and they're exploring. They're trying to figure out where they belong in this multiverse. And oh my God, if more of them had more ideas, I think the world would be a better place. Whenever I hear, what is this, equity and inclusion, all I ever think of is more ideas, more people putting their good ideas together, more people stopping, discussing what doesn't sell a fantasy fiction novel, and rather starting to discuss what does sell it. So we come to a common ground between the creator and the audience, I love dragons, I love writing about dragons. The audience loves reading about dragons. Perhaps I should write some more books with dragons if I wanted to make it as a fantasy fiction author. It's a wonderful thing, really. Okay, guys. So that was fun. I have promised I will do. I was told that I don't promote my products enough on the Energy Show, and I should be ashamed of myself. So I'm going to be ashamed of myself just for a moment. Give me a moment here. Okay, that'll do. And yeah, yes, I actually have a book called Infinite Creativity that an aspect wrote when she thought she was going to die. So it's kind of an autobiography. It's got tons of ideas in it. It's got absolutely tons of star events, star stories. So if you are a reader, you might like to read this. If you're not a reader, there's an awful lot of words in there. So, but I've mentioned it, I've done it, so yay! I'm not going to get shouted at tomorrow. And on that happy note, let's go and do just a little creativity meditation. Why don't we? And we can start off by just gently touching your own face with very light and gentle fingertips. And just be advised that you've got this enormous brain in your head there that contains more neurons than there are stars in the visible sky. And the connections between them are, to all intents and purposes, infinite. That's just the physical brain. As you're sort of gently stroking your own face, your head. If you can't reach, just use your energy hands and let them detach from your flesh hands, as it were, because they can go there and touch and stroke. See, our poor energy systems have been overheated, trying to think our way out of our problems. And consciously, you cannot think your way out of a problem. You need good ideas. And the good ideas, where do they come from? From our dear energy mind. Well, where else? But all of us have so many disturbances in our energy system around the head. So it'd be really nice to just stroke it and say, there now. Dear human child, you were created by the great creative order. And yes, there's much to learn. But you are doing really well and you've done your best. Think smoothly. Find a flow where thinking flows like clear water, light water. Dances over boulders and river rocks on its way to the sea. Can't be stopped. And breathe deeply while you do this. And I'd like you to think in terms of doing this afresh. Perhaps when you're standing under the shower or when you're in the bath. Just some soothing, beautiful touches over your head. Letting energy flow down your arms, down your back, without hindrance, without disturbance. And remember that your conscious mind was never designed to answer the difficult questions of life. It was designed to ask the questions. And for the energy mind and the ideas to be received and then translated down into actions in the heart. The overheated conscious mind accounts for a massive proportion of energy body stress in general. It's one of the most disturbed areas of the energy body. And putting some love, gentle attention, soothing into that systems up here, and not having to carry the burden of responsibility for the entire incarnation. With the conscious mind alone, it's just too much to ask. Can't do it by itself. It doesn't have to. Every one of us has the infinite creativity generator inside. All we need to do is ask it, spool it up, find something that you can use it for on a regular basis, as regular as you would brush your teeth in the morning, so that it really has a chance to show you, to prove to you what it can do for you, just for the asking. And I think that's really a wonderful, wonderful thing. Dieter. Dieter says it's a wonderful book. Oh, thank you very much, Dieter. It means a lot to me. Thank you. Yeah. I remember I very much enjoyed writing it at the time. It flowed. I might have to make a new edition because it didn't die in 2008, so we're now in 2022. Perhaps I should add something to it, add the last, 15 years to it, and that would make it even longer. It would have even more words inside, but that's okay. Words are sounds and words are wings. They touch you, show you many things. That's from Night Voice. Okay, my darlings, I would like you to remember, take away from this energy show, that as a human being, you have access to abilities and things that you don't even know. You don't know who you are. It's because of the structures of our thinking, our languages, and our societies. There are so many things about what human beings can do that have been just, left out in the dark, left out in the cold. But thanks to Star Matrix particularly, we are recovering these. We are bringing them back into the light and saying, hey, look at this. Look at this. People can, create these crazy things by asking what's wrong with me every day and destroying their own incarnations, their own energy systems. But this is not a bad thing. It's just being used wrong. That's the key to it, isn't it? The creativity generator is neutral. You can use it for good or you can use it for evil. Well, I don't know about you guys. I choose it for good. I want to be happier. I want to be shinier. I want to bring more love into the world. I want to be a force for good in this world, in my life. That's what I want. What I feel is the right thing for me. Not everybody might feel that. I do. And bringing people back to their original birthright as a human being in the great creative order, a part of the great creative order, not some kind of orphan sitting in the dark outside of it. Yeah. I believe creativity is the key. That's the doorway, it's the portal. And I shall wave the flag for infinite creativity until the day I die. Oh, thank you so much, dear Paul. Paul says, thank you, Sylvia. Truly inspiring energy show this morning. I'm so glad. And yeah, I would love to hear how you guys play with your creative energy generator there, your infinite creativity generator, what you learned, what you applied for, and tips and insights that you have that can help new people um, use it in their own lives, in their own ways to make, just make being in this world, this life, not so stressful, with a lot more laughter and a lot more fun. So I'm going to wish you a very blessed day and also the week ahead. Find light, find laughter, find beauty. If you look for the beauty, it'll find you. Lots of love and bye for now.